Hi, I'm Carly.
And I'm Sandra.
And this is Send Noodles
Lockdown Edition.
featuring Dean.
Oh, that was a great one.
He's like, I'm not a performing monkey. It's still so sweet every time we get set up. As soon as I put things in this position and get the computer there, he's like, I know what's happening. And I have to have a second chair here for him every week because he likes to be involved.
Yes, and it's clear he doesn't really quite know where the sound is coming from. I'll greet him and he's like looking at the door like, is she going to come through the door?
I can't wait for when you can finally come back to Noodle Central.
Yeah.
He's going to be, you'll have to do not wear a dark colour.
Yes.
He's going to be all over you.
I can't wait. I'm missing those cuddles so much.
I would like to see the baby.
My little bestie.
Very cuddly.
Oh my goodness. So how's this week been?
It's been a pretty good week actually. I've been really trying to carve out a little bit more. We've spoken about it before, but a bit more work-life balance.
Yeah.
And I think I've done a bit better at that this week. I've taken a couple of my meetings outside, sitting outside with the buns, which was really lovely.
Yes.
So yeah, doing pretty good. How about you? How's your week?
It's been a pretty interesting week for me. It's been good though. I feel like I'm kind of getting on top of it. As we said last week, the weather really has boosted my mood and I'm warming up with it. It's like you've been defrosted and yeah, I'm just kind of feeling a lot more sunny in my disposition as well. So it's been really lovely.
That's good because actually you've just been a real downer and so many people.
I know.
Old downer Sandra.
Yeah.
So we have had, we'll move on. We've had these noodles hanging around in our cupboard for so long, like such a long time. And we keep putting them off.
Yes.
Like, oh, listen, we'll get to those. And it's finally time because they deserve to be addressed. We're going to engage with the humble 50-cent noodle.
Yeah. And look, if these end up being good, the value for money on these is going to be outstanding. And upon inspection, I actually think that they might be a little better than our hearts are kind of anticipating them being. Some little highlights I would like to address. Just like a little window. This is the noodle.
Mine just is showing all the little broken bits. They look particularly crunchy. I know all noodles are crunchy, but these look like the ones that you would put on your salad.
Yeah.
I do not hold out hope for this, my friend. I've been avoiding it for a reason. I hope I'm wrong. I enjoy the whole egg, but disproportionately sized with how big the egg is.
Yes.
There is one thing that we did discover when we read the ingredients that I'm pretty excited about. You want to run us through that?
Yes. So basically we flipped it over because I was kind of thinking to myself, I didn't know how we were going to cook these. And what we discovered was there's actually 2 different ways that you can cook these noodles. And they actually really, really cater to both of the ways that Carly and I like to cook our noodles. So you can
know us.
Yeah. But they know. So you can either cook it with soup or you can do a dry style noodle. So I propose that today we prepare these in our 2 favorite ways. So I'm going to go with the soup noodle today. And Carly, I think you go for the dry style if you're kind of feeling up for that.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for this. And there's no surprises here. Put it in water, boil it, add stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite types of instructions. So we'll go and do that now and then we'll come back and we'll have some things to say, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Cooking wise, there was no huge revelations. Immediately, the noodles made the liquid a really bizarre color, which I'd not experienced before. It was almost as if they were coated in some kind of sodium, like a soy or something. And I think I probably noticed it more because I didn't put any of my flavor sachets in until after I had boiled them. Thank you. Yes.
Do you cook any other kind of dry noodle in that style?
Yes, I have cooked other noodles like that before, and there have been other ones that I've cooked the noodle and then put the flavor in after. So it definitely was an anomaly. It wasn't just something I hadn't noticed before. It definitely was out of the
So for my cooking process, I put the seasoning in straight away. So obviously I didn't kind of experience that. I actually noticed the smell was very strong straight away, very garlicky. The scent, the seasoning, I noticed it just says it's garlic powder, salt, flavor enhancers. There's this artificial chicken flavor in there. There's chili in there. That's kind of all there really is in there, other than whatever the random flavor enhancers might be, and palm oil, shallot. Really not too much to it, pretty basic. It smelled quite nice on the initial kind of beginning the cooking process, but as it went kind of further into the cook, I thought, I don't know that I'm super sold on this smell anymore. And
not the same.
Yeah, it's really started nicely, but the deeper we got in, I was less sold on it.
The oil sachet for me was really liquidy with just like some tiny little, it normally is more of a garlic paste, an oily paste, but this was like
quite wet.
Yeah, and I mean, there wasn't, they listed shallots and things, but there really wasn't much to the like my noodles don't look much different than when they were cooked. So there wasn't
a little teeny tiny bit that I can see sitting on top. I've dropped it in soup now.
It's gone now. There's some herbs.
See a tiny bit. I better not tilt that up. I will absolutely.
I believe in you. I always believe in you, Unita. Okay. We
really just changed that without thinking about it. Look, I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a go. Okay. Ooh, let's go. I'm going to give the broth a go. Okay. I'm going to let you start because you may have gotten the really short end of the stick with having the dry noodles.
It's not the worst thing I've eaten. And it might not even be the worst noodle I've eaten. But it's not great. The seasoning actually tastes like it feels a little bit sandy. There's so many ingredients when I know exactly what they taste like. The flavor is surprisingly nondescript, but we did kind of joke about the fact that these were just kind of, this is one of those ones where it's an Oriental flavor, but they're not prepared to fit. Yeah. I mean, the Oriental region, I'm no geographist, but the Oriental region
very vague. Yeah. Incredibly vague flavor range. I must say though, they're pretty clear on what flavors there are if you read the back of the packet. So I kind of thought we'd know more what this flavor would be in terms of taste, but yes. Go on.
Definitely still a grittiness there. Are you experiencing any grit?
No, I am not experiencing any grit in mine. I think that this is pretty underwhelming. In fact, I've had 1.5 mouthfuls and I'm very hesitant to even continue. I don't love this. I was so optimistic, but I don't even know that I kind of even want more.
So, listen, not great, but probably 50. If I went to a noodle place and said, give me 50 cents worth of noodles, this is about what I would expect.
I'd be cheering on the size of it. Look, if you are a poor uni student is always kind of the path we go down when we think about cheap noodles, good value for money. If you are a poor uni student, sure, this might be your choice. Certainly, though, we've definitely eaten some much yummier noodles that kind of equate to pretty much the same. I definitely would not kind of recommend this as your choice. It's quite funny, you know, we kind of have had different noodles previously where we've kind of thought, oh, you know, we've been very apprehensive to eat it because it's not been as appealing as others, and this has been one of those. And normally we've hey, this is surprisingly all right. No.
Yes. Yeah, we've had some ones before, as you say, where we thought this is going to be a bit of a dud. The day has come, and I think we may have found our dud noodle.
Yep.
If it's not full dud, it's duddish. This is normally the part, as you would all know, because you all watch all the way through videos and you're very keen observers of the way we do or don't do things. This is where we talk about stuff and eat noodles. But don't make me eat any more of those, please.
No, it's not funny. I have so much to tell you all about that I've been wondering in life and stuff. But really, quite frankly, I just don't even want to eat these. And why would we kind of drag that out? I'd rather make art with these and put it on my hair and oops.
They look, I mean, that's a pleasant enough screenshot.
So while I was cooking it, I always do a little bit of a noodle taste just to make sure that maybe I've cooked them to the right kind of level. I had a little sneaky kind of noodle taste. I thought, oh, this is not good, but you know, maybe I'm just going to wait a little bit. Maybe it's just because the noodle isn't quite cooked enough. It never got any better. And that, unfortunately, is the reality that we're sitting at then. Is this kind of one where it's not even kind of worth us sitting here and trying to talk over noodles today?
I don't want to dirty our wonderful conversation with this average noodle. Look, let's get into it. Mouthfeel. What are you giving it, sister?
Okay, so mouthfeel is where we discuss the noodle, yes? So the noodle to me
of the noodle, it can also include the broth, but yeah, how does it feel?
Terrible. As I said, it actually looks very fun, but I feel like we've kind of now gotten to a point in this noodle journey where we can kind of aesthetically tell when things aren't going to be particularly nice. You can definitely tell that, and we could kind of tell that through that little window in the packet. I could also tell that on the front packet. If you even just look at that, it's in fact not even kind of the same noodle texture. Like those are like straight noodles, whereas the noodles that we have are these little curly noodles.
I should have known. It was the disproportionate egg. I should have known.
I love egg.
I should have known. Okay, what are you giving it, girl?
1. Can I give it a 0? I don't like these noodles at all. I don't know why I keep trying to put them in my mouth.
I know. I feel the same.
I'm going to give it a 0.5 because as a bit of a perspective, I rated those cup noodles that we had from Aldi quite lowly. These are worse. So I'm going to give them 0.5. We're not going to give them a 0 because obviously I keep trying to put them back in my mouth.
Yeah. 0.5. Look, I'm going to, I can't lie. I'm going to give it a 0.5 as well. It's the grittiness that's gotten me, I think. I don't want, it feels like eating a sandwich at the beach.
Ugh, yuck, terrible. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, what's our next one? Flavor. How are you finding it? You've gone back for the broth a few times. Are you just
trying it? Because I feel like if I try and disassociate it from the noodle, it might actually be a little bit better than it is as a whole package.
Yeah.
It's very garlicky. I've got to say that. I don't know if you're actually experiencing that because you're just experiencing it in the grittiness. So I almost think that because it's that dry style, you maybe didn't actually get the seasoning kind of cooking itself onto the noodle enough. And I'm guessing that's just because of the way that it indicated for you to prep it. Perhaps if you just had a little more broth to kind of just cook it down a little more, it might have kind of worked in your favor. It's got a lovely like oil to it. I don't think that I can hold this up without actually.
I like watching you try. Oh, yes.
So you can see it's actually got quite a decent colour to it in terms of the oiliness to it. And it does deliver in that garlic space. So I don't actually think it's as horrible as the kind of noodle makes it feel that it is. Having said that, it's not something I would go back to. It's pretty bland. It's not particularly exciting, but I don't think it's as terrible as the noodle itself is. So for me, I'll probably give the broth probably a 2. It's not as terrible as the noodle itself.
I'm going to stick with a 1 for the flavour because there is flavour. And I think really the absence of all flavour would be even worse. So at least there's some flavour. And while it's not for me, I'm going to give it 1. It's definitely odorific. Another new word, whatever. And while I'm not entirely sure that I can identify the odour, I guess it's there. There is flavour. It's not for me. I'm going to give it a 1.
Yep, for the record as well, there is meant to be chili in this. There's no chili really. Maybe like a little bit on the tip of my tongue, but there's no chili here for us.
I forgot it existed until you said that.
Yeah, if you really think hard about the fact that there was supposedly chili in it, like on the sachet there were little pictures of chilies, then sure there's chili in it, but there's no chili here for us.
The advertising people have got a lot to answer for.
Yes.
Okay? Alrighty, so overall, what are you going to give it overall?
Oh, look, I'm giving it a 1.
Same. Giving it a 1. It is a noodle.
Yep, it definitely delivers the noodle.
And it's 50 cents worth of noodle, and I'm calling that is what that is.
It exists. It's a noodle that was 50 cents. And for that, it is a 1 out of 5. So I think what we have just had happen is last week we had our highest rated noodle that we have had so far, and this week we have had our lowest rated noodle so far. And perhaps we've almost been quite generous in even giving it a 1 out of 5.
I think what we've proven is that the noodle just needs to turn up to get like a mark.
Yes, that's true. We're very generous in our marking.
You know, this time last week I ate a second one.
Yes, I got to witness that.
Move that out of the way because actually the smell of it's unpleasant. Okay. Well, that's us. That's us.
That's never happened to us before.
I guess it is kind of nice in a really horrible way to know that get rid of it. Don't. It's nice. We've set benchmarks. We've set very clear parameters now within the span of 2 weeks for what is great and what is not.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably. Wow, what a depressing episode.
And we were just talking about how sunny it was.
I'm still going to have a great day, but I'm going to go and make some food that I want to eat.
Yes, so now I'm thinking the sun is shining. I didn't get to eat my noodles, but this week with the warm weather, I've actually really been enjoying just a bit of a warmer weather kind of meal. So I am not much of a salad eater, but oh my goodness, this week I bought these delicious, like the little cocktail truss tomatoes that are still on the vine, and just cutting those up with cucumber and spinach and just lots of salt and pepper and goat's cheese and radish, and what a delightful meal. It's
goat's cheese?
Yes.
You must love it.
Well, I can't have feta, so goat's cheese.
Can you have goat's cheese?
Yeah, goat's milk is okay.
I would like to talk for just a quick moment because we are going to go about the most adorable thing ever, which is as we were setting up for this call, there was a little knock at Sandra's door and a very special non-contact delivery arrived. Do you want to talk us through?
Yes. So very sweetly, we have a little contactless delivery from some friends. They did a little drop off. They live in our LGA, so they dropped off some cookies that they'd been baking, hot out of the oven. They just dropped them off at our door, and so it was a knock and run basically. And we opened the door, and there were these yummy, dairy-free choc chip cookies with some Biscoff in them that had just come out of the oven, as I just said. So he tried to make them loaded for us. So there's a little video of me trying to crack them open just to see how they looked inside. And for a first attempt, they are fabulous. So actually that's probably what I'm going to go and treat myself to now, is probably a cup of tea and one of those cookies.
It was such a conflict because I had completely complete FOMO, such cookie FOMO on top of this golf, but I was on tender hooks, like, ooh, show me. And it was a big cookie. You know, at least you can wash away the disappointment of that noodle with something delightful. I think I might try and rustle up something similar. I think I might even try and bake something.
Yes, do it. We've got some bananas. And you know what? Everyone always says this. You've got all bananas in the house. Banana bread. Maybe next week I might have some information about what the trade-off of them by bringing us cookies was. We'll see.
Oh, yes.
And if we actually commit to it.
Yeah, these weren't free cookies, my friends.
It was a trade-off.
And I can see why they put so much effort into the cookies, because certainly the payoff is going to be worth it. So
fingers crossed.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for coming along again. Hopefully this was just a few minutes of something other than binge watching Netflix or panic cleaning every surface in your house, because that's basically the realm of where we exist at the moment. But
it's me trying to get ready to make this noodle.
Oh yeah, I did know that. It's really lovely to see you again, Sandra. At least we still have video catch up.
My favorite time of the day though, to be able to catch up on Zoom.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
So please take care, everyone.
Stay safe.
Let us know if we're wrong about those noodles, please.
Yes.
Because I would love to find someone who liked those noodles.
Yeah, maybe add-ons. Maybe if you do spice these up somehow with add-ons, please tell us in the comments. That's kind of what we're here to hear about.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Chuck us a like and please subscribe.
Oh, yeah, do those things.
Yes. Bye. Oh, he did a great job. Look at that. Oh, I've just dropped it all over my keyboard.
Stop it.
That looks so good.
That does look good.